This from the president on Apple, posting this just moments ago. I'm going to read this verbatim for you all sitting at home. If you're tracking this, look at the stock. We're down by 3% at the pre-market. I've long informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expect their iPhones that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or any place else. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the US. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This drops, the stock drops, the equity market pulls back by a third of 1%.
Yeah, this really builds on what President Trump has talked about before, which is this isn't a make India great again kind of bill. I do wonder, though, based on what we've heard from Dan Ives, that it would cost twice as much for iPhones should they be built in New Jersey with all the people who are clamoring to build iPhones. I also love that he said, thank you for your attention to this matter, which is the class of passive-aggressive. It's like number 3 on the passive-aggressive notes that people can write in work emails.
You know, whether this changes or not, and I don't know, but this is just a pure observation. Go back a week, the Middle East. Who did he call out? Who wasn't in the room? Tim Cook. Who was celebrated in the first term? Tim Cook. What did we call him on this program? The diplomat, Tim Cook, who knows how to navigate the Trump administration and avoid a situation like this. What has changed between those two individuals?
You know, this is a great question. How much of it is driven by business concerns? How much of it is driven by proximity, right? Jensen Huang was the person who was traveling with him, so the person closest to him maybe gets the biggest concessions when it comes to leeway. But it's a great question. How does one curry favor in order not to be called out in a truth, which is the nightmare for so many different executives?
Tyler, just to bring you back into the conversation, to Lisa's point, this is the nightmare for the C-suite, that you go to bed and then you wake up to a social media post that looks like that and it names your company and the CEO.
Right, exactly. And it continues what really has been pressure from this White House on the private sector to conform with what they ultimately want to see be the end goal here, which is that the administration really highlights this investment that they've been getting in the broader goal to boost domestic manufacturing. And that argument is becoming very important for this White House as they contend with these concerns about the deficit, because they want to show these other sources of revenue raisers outside of what Congress is ultimately doing to help them achieve what they say will be boosting or stabilizing that debt to GDP ratio.